He won with the first horse he started at Gulfstream Park in Florida. He won with the first horse he started in Jamaica. He is trainer, Rohan Crichton. Now, he has set up operations in Jamaica. Crichton tells about his professional life as a trainer of thoroughbreds to QuickGallop.com, and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper.
Tell us how you got involved in horse racing, first and foremost.
From a tender age, my father has always owned horses. To this day, he still owns a share in Sunity and Chippy. So I got involved in races. Boy, I tell you, I couldn't even see the track. I had to be lifted up in the stands just to see super docious win. So it goes a long way. So I remember the days of spending the entire day at the track, every day in the holiday. I think that's where the passion, came from. It has never left. That would have been my early days. My father and I mean, every time we go to the races, to exercise in the morning, to the barn in the evening, I was right there with him. To this day, being at the barn is therapy. I can actually stay here all day, and it feels like you just reach.
You're at home.
Yes, feel at home. Yeah.
What year we're talking about? Those early days. What period?
Yeah, we're talking about in the early 70s. Yeah, I remember when Legal Light won the Derby, which I think is in 77.
77.
77. Yeah. So I saw that. So just like the usual racing fan, you recall all the races, you recall the trainers, the owners, the horses of the early years. Like in any other sport, passion is what drives you, and it's the passion that takes you to, wherever, I guess, God meant for you to go.
At that time, were you at that time harboring thoughts of becoming a trainer or being involved outside of probably ownership?
Well, good question. So I went to Campion College, approaching graduation. So my father asked me, where you want to be, So I said, a trainer. He said, go tell your mother that. So I went to college in the United States, became a CPA, worked for Pricewaterhouse for many years. Branched off in some other areas for a couple of years, and then came back to South Florida, started our firm, our public accounting firm that is still around today. I have transitioned my career, so to speak. I'm in a sort of a transition window. I find that racing has allowed me to kind of recreate myself. Although I'm in my 50s, I feel like I'm just starting. I mean, it's a blessing to come to what you call work, but for me, it's not. It's like it's a sport. The game has there's a lot of tragedy in this game, and I've learned not to get too high, and certainly not to get too low. The hill and valley, in an emotional way, deters you from making proper decisions as a trainer. I've had, in the United States, been blessed with some very nice horses that, whether I be as a young trainer, not experienced enough to parlay them into a career, that certainly could be a part of it. But every day in this game you learn, and so it's a constant. Rather than reflect how unlucky you were for this to happen, it's about, hey, this happened and now it's time to move on. And when you do very well, boy, I tell you what, it happened, and tomorrow you have to go back and start all over again.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And it's, we're here with Rough Entry. It's been a blessing to be able to come back home, because Jamaica is where I learned, in my opinion, the foundation of who we are today. And our barn is successful because of the experience that was learned in Jamaica. A lot of us don't realize that we have an innate caring for horses that is not evident in many other places. So that is a big part of why our barn has been able to, have a fairly, we try hard. Those early years, I can, being around Richard Azan, Bibi, all the people that I've been blessed to be around, I have learned from. When I went to the United States, I spent a lot of time with Ralph Zade, who I tell you is a master trainer, simply because of how organized he is, you know. So, you know, we take the good and the bad, you know. Bad teaches you just as much as the good, and, you know, hopefully we're trying to make our own mark, you know.
Okay, when did you get your license as a trainer in the States, and where?
Got my license in Florida. I've been training for maybe 12 years, 10 years. I don't remember. It's between 2010 and 2012.
Right.
But we were lucky. The first horse we started won.
What's the name of that horse?
Great Escape.
Okay.
So naturally, it's a cheap maiden condition race, but it is on a picture in my office. In my office, the first.
What was that feeling like?
Why, you know, nervous before, like no, like even no matter what race you're getting, you know, you get nervous because that's the passion in you, which is good, you know. Whenever you become immune and numb to it, you know, it's maybe it's not so fun anymore. But yeah, man, it was nervous, and when she won, it was a feeling, it was a surreal feeling. I remember when the commentator said, "And this is my first start and his first win." I remember the next day, everybody told me I should retire now, so I have a 100% win percentage.
How has the journey been so far for you?
You know, we've had some very good, you know, Trenchtown Cat, for example, an amazingly gifted horse that hurt herself early in her career. I thought that she was a horse that was going to, you know, really establish the band, you know. We had a very nice colt this year who was on the Derby Trail that I believe, you know, well, he got hurt in his, you know, in his Derby prep, and we were forced to miss all the big three-year-old races. But that's the game, you know, so you have to kind of dust off. I've been blessed with some, I call them cornerstone owners. Dennis Smith, who is an owner here locally, who is a good friend and partner of mine, as well as Dan Walters. Those gentlemen are major supporters of the band, right? And without them, you know, they buy so many 2-year-olds every year that is a reason why our band can, you know, remain on the radar, right? And I want to make sure that everybody knows that those guys, that them and Peter Lawson are big reasons why we're where we are today. Dennis and Dan are part owners with me in Rough Entry, you know. So, you know, the thing about a barn though is no trainer win races. It's the entire staff,
support staff,
right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we've been very lucky to have. You know, Richard Robertson has been with me for. Richard Robertson has been. I remember the day when Richard came to Miami, called me and said, "Boy, Ron, yeah, I came in just this evening, you know." But the next morning, he was there working with me at the barn, and that Richie is our main reason why I'm here today. With the kind of, you know, I don't want to call it success. We're not even looking at that, but a main reason why we've been able to grow is because of Richard. All of the 2-year-olds, the good one, I mean, it's been Richard on them. I mean, unfortunately, you know, he fell a couple of years ago, and he wanted to come back home. So a big reason why I'm here today is because he's here. We're in 3 different locations now, right? And it's not easy.
What are those locations?
We're currently at Gulfstream, which is home base. Barn 23 in Gulfstream is the nucleus. And we have a string in Tampa. And, you know, as you know, in Jamaica now. Jamaica is just not an afterthought. I mean, I've been here, this might be my 4th or 5th trip since Rough Entry's been in Jamaica. So I come and I watch a couple, you know, I've watched a couple breezes. I've been here, you know, with the guys, trying to be more of a consultant and let Richie, you know.
Tell me about your numbers. What's the number in Gulfstream and in Tampa, and the number
Well,
here?
Tampa has just started. So I would say that the whole shipping and going into other tracks is a phenomenon that started when we went to Del Mar, you know. So last year, I think we won 68 races. This year, we're a little off the mark. We're in our mid-40s. Tough, you know. In Gulfstream is home though, and I think the fair measure of Gulfstream is is that over the years, the barn has become, with 300 starts a year roughly, 200 odd starts a year roughly. We're a presence, in Gulfstream.
How many horses do you have at your barn in Gulfstream?
Right now, 40.
40. Tampa.
17.
And here in Jamaica?
4.
4.
What would you say are your hopes, aspirations in the United States, and some goals that you probably
Kentucky
set
Derby,
yourself?
Breeders' Cup. We've again, Richard, we won a championship. We've been in the top 5 in the championship meet, but to be able to win these big races is what the goal is. This business is not just about going to the track and telling the jockey, go 5 furlongs or 2, 3. This business is, a lot of it is management behind the scenes. The barn is critical. So to be able to get to that point, those goals take that kind of, it takes the owners, it takes the staff. We're heavily invested in buying young horses every year, because that's what it's all about. We just started in Jamaica, but clearly that's what the goal. Those are the goals. Wherever we are, to do as best as we can.
You spoke about winning a championship. Tell us a little bit more about that. Where was that championship?
That was Gulfstream Park West, which that meet was the last Gulfstream Park West meet that's conducted at Calder. Calder was our home ground, right? And we just got lucky. We only had like 25 horses. A couple of them won 3 times. 2 or 3 of the horses won 2 to 3 races each in a 2-month meet. So we got lucky. We stopped running in the last few weeks of Gulfstream in preparation for having a good Gulfstream Park West meet, and it's ironic that it's the last meet at Calder. Calder is no longer. There's not one barn. It's flat.
Right.
It's a sad thing, because that is probably the best training surface I've ever been on.
Yeah.
That was a excellent track. What a lot of the trainers will tell you is that the surfaces are important. What I like about Jamaica is that you have the pool, you can go to you can take the horses to the sea. There's rings all over that you can, because horses need, in my opinion, you can't keep doing the same thing every day, So a lot of what we do is do a lot of jogging and galloping very slow and slowly building them. So I actually this just reminds me of those days where we were in my early days here, which is, you train horses in many different ways.
Yeah.
As you talk, you see guys lounging horses out there that, at Gulfstream now you can't, none of that can happen. You have 2,000 odd horses that go around one oval every day.
Yeah. Congrats on that win. Tell us about some of your major successes, some of the major races you would have won.
We've won a couple stake races. And I don't want to sound difficult. They're not major stake races, but we've been in a few graded races. We haven't won a graded race yet, but we've run second in a few. So that as far as prestigious race, that's kind of, I would say we've won maybe 6 or 7 stake races. The Princess, there's a win in here for Breeders' Cup. We came second. I thought we could have won that race.
Wow.
So.
What's the favorite horse you have trained?
I love all of them. I feel the most talented horse I've had a Trenchtown Cat, Legacy Isle, who's still campaigning. Hopefully he's going to run most likely in the Tropical Park Derby. I'm going to switch him from the dirt.
What level are they?
No, stake. These are stake horses. We're running graded races. So Trenchtown Cat unfortunately got a tendon injury, and we sold her in foal for 400. It's a very nice filly. And Legacy Isle is here, hoping that Legacy Isle become what we thought he could have come as a 3-year-old. Hopefully his 4-year-old here, he shows the promise, he fulfills his promise,
You spoke about the barn here. obviously just starting out. They're all foreigners, the four you have here.
Yeah.
They're all foreigners. What's the immediate plan, hope, aspiration for this location?
The other two horses, or the three horses that we brought down, one we bought from and imported from Argentina. He should have run in this race, but couldn't negotiate the logistics of quarantine. So we sat him down to run rough entry. I thought rough entry would have given us the biggest chance of winning. So the hope is to get him in this race next year. Spirit of Light, that's his name. He's graded placed in Argentina, and he's won, I think, a couple stake races, and lower stake races in Argentina. He wants to go long on the dirt, which I think is a big plus here. The other two are fillies that we're hoping to go through the conditions that are available to imported horses, and then we see where they are. We most likely will claim a couple horses, fill the barn out here. We have 6 stalls. We're not trying to grow until we really know what the lay of the land is. So we're trying to accumulate as much understanding of how the runnings are, and then and anybody after that, we'll see if anybody want to give us horses to trade.
Thank you for sharing some time with us, and all the best.
Anytime.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from QuickGallop.com, YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for more enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.